Titans, Bitcoin had a breakout over the weekend, and now we are only about 6% away from the previous all-time high. Speaking of previous all-time highs, let's talk about potential price targets for Bitcoin using one very strong tool if we manage to break the previous all-time high and get another leg up. Stay tuned to find out. Kevort, hit that intro. All right, let's kick it off with our crypto fear and greed index. Today we are at a level 82, which represents extreme greed. Like I said last week, it's caution time, but there's still room left on this gauge for a little more extreme greed, and we still have not hit all of our price targets yet for Bitcoin, which I'll speak of later. Now let's move on to your daily reminder that the Bitcoin halving is in just 51 days. Also note that the halving date is now currently estimated to be April 25th, but it's a moving date based on whenever the 210,000 blocks have been added to the Bitcoin blockchain. Moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. In the past 24 hours, we've been seeing some strong liquidity building up above the current price level action at about the 65.8K area, which are the short positions or bears. And Bitcoin just pushed through them over here with this massive short squeeze. If you're still a Bitcoin bear, it's a pretty dangerous time to be shorting right now, in my opinion. Speaking of bears, let's have a moment of silence for our friend of the channel, Scott the Bear, who will forever be a perma bear and likely got his position liquidated this morning. Okay, aside from that, I'm not seeing a whole lot of concentrated liquidity building up below the current price action at this time. Now let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin ETF flow table. On Friday, March 1st, we continue to see strong outflow from Grayscale at $492.4 million. Overall, we finished with a negative total of $139.6 million on Friday between all of the ETFs, and that actually marked the second negative flow we've seen in about a week. I'm not too concerned about this, however, and you will definitely see why when we hit the charts. But before we hit the charts, this is your reminder that we are only 80 days away from a decision to be made by the SEC for the first Ethereum spot ETF by May 23rd. Don't sleep on Ethereum because you know what happened to Bitcoin leading up to the approval of the spot ETFs back in January. All right, now let's hit the charts. All right, now we're looking at the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, where we discussed this symmetrical triangle pattern last week. Based on this pattern and the Titan Bollinger Bands, coupled with the Bollinger Band width indicator being in this squeeze zone, we knew that a breakout was imminent. This breakout now puts us up against a very important resistance zone for Bitcoin, but we'll need to look at the weekly time frame to see it. Okay, now we're looking at the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, and we can see that Bitcoin is currently pushing through this 65.5K end of the 65.5K to 69K zone. But we'll need to see a daily close within this zone to confirm that 65K will become support. And as you can see, this is our final zone of resistance before heading to price discovery. Switching over to the monthly time frame for Bitcoin, we can see that as of this morning, we hit our cup and handle target of about 65.6K, but we still have not tapped our Pi cycle top indicator yet, which is at approximately 67.5K at this time. Keep in mind that in every previous cycle, we've hit the Pi cycle top indicator before the halving event. Let's go back to the weekly time frame for Bitcoin one more time. Did you know that the weekly candle we just closed actually marks the third highest weekly candle close in Bitcoin's history? Talk about bullish. Just a reminder, Titans, based on the previous 3 cycles, we've seen Bitcoin hit new all-time highs anywhere from 3 to 10 weeks after closing above the 0.65, 0.618 Fibonacci golden pocket. Right now, we are in week 3, so we have between now and 7 weeks until we can potentially see a new all-time high if Bitcoin is going to continue following this trend. And if we do manage to keep going above 69K before the halving, using our good friend the Fibonacci tool here, the initial levels to target would be about 83.5K based on the 1.272 extension and about 102K based on the 1.618 extension. Titans, we are your one-stop source for guiding you through this Bitcoin bull run. Please join us as we continue to provide the latest market and technical analysis that are going to give you that edge.